Okay, a little garden update. Not much has happened on the surface, but on the ground a lot. The strawberries are doing extremely well. A lot of flowers here. I think we're going to have a decent harvest here. And I'm very excited about the blueberries already coming. Blueberries are one of my favorite things. And then I did a bit of a job here. I added a middle one more support, and then I did these top railings where I can then trellis my tomatoes from. I can put trellises down from here, so that should be good. And even though it's a bit early, the weather forecast is great for the next kind of week and a half as far as we can see, so I took the risk of planting some tomatoes and some cayenne peppers down here already. This year I've been trying to grow as much as I can from the seed rather than from buying the plants in the shop, so I planted a lot, to the point that I'm actually going to be having more tomato plants, more cayenne pepper plants, more celery plants and all sorts of stuff. Then I can actually have the ground to grow them in. But that's the whole idea, was that I plant more, and then for example, if the frost would come and these would die, I would still have plenty more to plant later on. And then hopefully I can just give away some of them as well, because I think that's part of living in a community like this, is that you kind of, whatever you have too much, you just share it with your neighbors and the rest of the community, people close to you. So I'm this bed here. I'm actually expanding it a little bit, because like the first year I kind of made like nice little pathways, and now I realized that I only use very little of the pathways, and like here there's 3 different beds here, which are kind of hard to see right now, and I'm actually thinking of turning them into one big bed, just try to maximize the volume I can grow. That's the big plan at the moment. And another update, the wall. We have a guy coming to see the wall today. He's a friend of our neighbor Frank, and he's going to give us a quote for doing the render on the wall. It's the one thing that we're kind of debating of how we're going to do it, and now we're come to a point that I think we want to. The render is kind of the last finishing touch, so we think we want to get it done professionally, and we want to get it done reasonably quickly. Because then the rest of it, then the falicet that's going to go above it, is me and Frank can do that, no problem, ourselves. So yeah, progress is happening, even though it doesn't look like it. And then, what else? Oh yeah, 6th of May, I'll be back in the Barrel House in Macon, playing a gig. If you happen to be around, come along. It's going to be another great gathering of people. What else? Yeah, I'm filming today a lot of content, so it's going to be my priority, I think. Get that out. Another song finished. Another one coming up this Friday. Another one finished, and then another one that is kind of like, I've written the song, but I still have to come up with the arrangement for it still. So yeah. And then rehearsing with the band as well, so pretty cool things going on at the moment. Anyway, onwards and upwards, and I need to clean the barbecue. The season is here. Okay, once again I'm here in the grange. That looks nice, doesn't it? I've been filming stuff here all afternoon. Well, a couple of hours. Before that I was filming in the garden. Well, usually what I try to do is to go to these batches, so I don't like constantly have to be creating stuff, and because that can be really sidetracking from everything else I have to do. But it's a nice place, nice little setup I have here. Yeah, it's I don't know. This grange is kind of it's quite an inspirational space for me, and I really want to utilize this more for like with other people. So I think once in a while I put out these call outs for people, you know, to come and do collaborations here. And I really mean it. Like, this is like, especially if you're an artist and you're trying to, in this day and age, kind of get heard and, you know, try to get some exposure for stuff that you're doing, you know. It's a really nice space to make something, you know. So I was trying to come up with something better to say, but that's exactly what it is. And, you know, I'm more than happy to do that and help other people, you know, just do stuff together as well and collaborate. And, you know, if you got a new song or a new track, then you want to come and play it here, and then we play something together as well. And, you know, we make something nice out of it and put it out in the world and spread it together, you know. So if you want to come and feel this magic, let me know. Also, I am kind of once in a while playing with the idea of doing some sort of a house concert here eventually, but we'll see. Still a lot of work to do before we get that far. You might think it's the years, but it's the miles and the bitter tears. Never thought I'd make it this far. Still got some gas left in the car. Today was supposed to be a video editing day, but things have kind of taken a turn. Good way. We just happened to get a couple of sensory lights. The outside of our property is quite dark at night time. So we got them a very good deal, so I grabbed them, and they're all solar powered. So, you know, basically set it, forget it. But the solar panels once in a while. Happy days. So the one big one here at the entrance of the door, right there. We have another smaller one at the inside here. So basically, when you walk in, this one lights up. We will eventually get just a light switch light here as well. We have a light switch inside for it. Wired, but not wired outside yet, so we will eventually do that, but it's not a priority now. And I kind of like the idea of solar panel lights because they're kind of, you know, take care of themselves. Now they're not going to be bright, they're going to be manageable, and that's just, as I said, it's more kind of case of right now get something that will get us through for time being. I had a bit of a thing with the one in front of the garage, because I had nowhere to put the solar panel itself. So you can see the light is up there in the middle. So I put a bit of stick sticking out so it's going to reach into the sun. And then I have two up here on the veranda that I just installed. So we've got one up here and one on the other end of the terrace. Again, there will be proper lights here eventually, but for now, easy solution, no electric wiring required as such, you know. So yeah, now I really need to try to get some video editing done because I'm so behind. For the past few days, I've been working a lot of kind of preparation things for the garden, so it's not really exciting things to film as such. But then yesterday I had a big job, and it's one of those jobs that I'm not a big fan of it. And let me explain. So our grass had well overgrown. We didn't have any fuel for the a weed whacker, and we still don't have a lawnmower, which is the one thing that is highly frustrating, put it that way. Anyway, so I had to do all this with the weed whacker, and it's so overgrown. I'll have to probably do it in a few days again when it's supposed to kind of lift up again. But it's done. It took me all day yesterday. Well, the whole front and back and sides and everything, because it was so high that I had to do like 3 or 4 layers, and then the coil dispenser of the weed whacker is the pain of my existence. You know, for some people they work wonderfully. For me, it just keeps on burning. It keeps on. Well, I'm using it more than I'm supposed to be using for this kind of purpose, because it's not a. I think it's the lowest grade of steel weed whacker. It's not the big strong machines, but the coil just keeps on burning inside of it, and so I have to take it apart on average once an hour, which is very frustrating, as you can imagine. But that's done. Now let me show you what else I did. I did getting really into my preparation of my tomatoes. I planted some in the garden. They're not doing so well yet, but I knew that they weren't, because they were still very young and they weren't. The roots weren't long enough, and there were still a couple of not cold nights, but still not warm enough. But now here's the thing. I planted so much tomatoes that it's crazy. I'm not going to be planting all of them in the ground, so I planted them in little pots. Let me show you the little pots first. And I put like just plumped seeds in there and planted them. So as a result, you have a pot like this. So you have a lot of plants there. Obviously, they're not going to be happy there long term because they're too cramped. So I spent a big part of an afternoon taking part about 4 different pots of those and separating them into bigger pots so the roots have more room to grow. Yeah, that took a while, and I've still so many pots inside there. But what I'm trying to do is kind of get like if I get, let's say, 20 plants, that's my target. 20 plants that have enough good roots and they look happy, and they're the ones I plant down in the ground, and then I still have some backup plants. That's the idea. So my plan is to have 20 tomato plants that will actually produce, even if I have some loss on the way, then we add another ones. So that's kind of been the height of the excitement for the past few days. Now I'm working on my compost. I'm just putting different kind of stuff there, because it hasn't really started to do the hot composting yet, so I need to put more dry stuff in there and get it going. So Saturday morning excitement is composting. Okay, so today a lot of hours went into cleaning the barbecue, but now it's finally spotless, ready for another season. So yeah, I kind of weirdly feel like this kind of wraps up the week. There's nothing really happening more. I mean, this whole week has been kind of little household stuff, you know. And yesterday, my latest song, Still Got Some Gas, came out, and it's doing really well. So I'm delighted about that. But you know, it's all about sharing it anyway. That's all I really care about. And here comes Shaya. I think she wants to say hello to you guys for another week. You okay? You okay? Oh yeah, I planted sunflowers. They're going to be coming here and at the other end of the big bed. So yeah, this week has been mainly kind of garden related. Weirdly enough, I suppose kind of, you know, getting ready for the summer season. I've heard on the grapevine it's going to be a long, hot and dry summer here, so we'll see. Usually where those hints come from, those people watch the patterns for, you know, decades and probably passed on from them from their grandparents, so I usually take it pretty seriously when they say that. So we're all for a hot one, I think. So that's kind of wraps it up. As I said earlier on in the week, I think I mentioned it, that I've been playing in the Barrel House on the 6th of May, which is going to be in about a couple of weeks' time. And then after that, I'm going to be getting ready for my 51st birthday, which is coming up in about 3 weeks' time. Whew, time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys here on this sunny, glorious afternoon. Once again, thanks for watching, and if you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe and like and leave a comment, because when you do, it does help surprisingly a lot, and it's a very little effort, and cost you nothing, you know. You just make a soon-to-be 55-year-old very happy. Thanks for watching. Still got some gas left in the car. You might think it's the years, but it's the miles and the bitter tears. Never thought I made it this far. Still got some gas left in the car.